You want a war? You're going to get one.
What was that? He had enough time for one more play.
He had an opportunity to win that game.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
the brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys game.
You literally.
The brother screwed us. The brother screwed us. Yeah, we had one man opportunity for one more play.
Dallas still stinks.
Yo, my do way, kick back here, and welcome to free agent frenzy, which is not so much a frenzy anymore, but it is still going, and it's an on process. Thank you guys for joining me. I wanted to come on after the Eagles had their press conference, so we are here, we are up and running, and the real question is this: what's the next move? What's the next play? There's some interesting things I want to talk about today because I don't know if these are accurate. I don't know what's going on with it, but we definitely got to talk about it. So what is going on, everybody? What's going on, Chris? What's going on, Mark? 120, 1258, what's up? Little Griffith, Cosmo, what's going on, man? It's been a while. Maurice, EJB, King Jones, thank you guys for being here. Daz, Logan Motorsports, CZ. Thank you for being here. Gregory, Juan, Tony, CJ, Donnie, the Flying Mayan, something Fat Fist. What's up? Timothy, Matthew, Big Mix, Jay, Rocco, my man, Elvis is in the building, JJ, Shrek, and everybody. Thank you for being here. First thing we should talk about is this. This occurred a little while ago. 6-time Pro Bowl cornerback Darius Slay is officially retiring from the NFL. He announced on social media. Now, couple things to this. One, the Buffalo Bills, I can't stand them. And one of the reasons that I can't stand them is I think they really shitted on Darius Slay at the trade deadline. They literally took his rights and forced him to go to their team and basically retire months early, instead of doing what everybody knew he was going to do, was go back to his old team for the last few games of his career. So I don't like that. And secondly, he was on the internet saying that the only team he'll consider coming out of retirement for is the Eagles. So keep that in mind. You never know what could happen. But if he is retired and done, shout out to Darius Slay, man. I love Darius Slay. I know it was 5 years, only 5 years out of 13-year career or something like that. But, man, Darius Slay was great with the Eagles, and we were lucky to have him, and I'm so happy that he was able to win with the Eagles. Now, the other thing I want to talk about real quick, and I'm going to hand this over to you guys, but this is what Over the Cap is saying. I saw some people on X talking about this, that the Eagles have $40 million in cap space. I don't know if that's accurate or not. It doesn't seem accurate, does it? Like, how are you going to have 18, 20 million, then all of a sudden 40? Now, I know that, you got the stuff with Dallas Goedert that you fixed and all those things. But if the Eagles have $40 million, then, man, you got to think a move for a Jonathan Greenard or something like that is bound to happen. Okay, and it's funny, Mark Holmes always talking about, well, the Cowboys can flip the triggers. We can flip the triggers. They flip triggers and they're $8 million under the cap. Howie signs a couple dudes and we got $40 million under the cap. So I don't know if it's right or not. Now, some of that has got to be designated to draft picks. Another reason why I consider trading out of that first-round pick if a guy that I don't want isn't there is because you've picked so well. Maybe you need a break for a first-round pick, paying him for a while, and you get a 2027 first. So I don't know if this is right or accurate, but man, if we really are $40 million under the cap, damn, Howie's done a remarkable job. Yeah, they did restructure Landon Dickerson's contract. His contract was the first contract I've ever seen where a guy literally gets restructured and loses a year. That makes me think that Dickerson told them, look, man, I'm playing 2 more years, I'm out. So you could take that last year out of it. And I really wonder if that's what's going to happen. Yeah, $40 million is 10th in the NFL. That's pretty good. And I haven't even checked. Let me see what it says next year. I'm curious what it is next year. It was like scheduled over like 100 million. It may be even more now. And they still, you'll get a little more cap relief if you sign Jalen Carter, but $40 million right now. I mean, I think the Eagles they can do whatever they want to do. Let's see. So in 2027, we're scheduled to have, they said, $82 million in cap space right now. So right now, we got $82 million for next year, and we've got $40 million this year. I'm sure some of that will roll over. I'm sure some of it will. But, I mean, a guy like Jonathan Greenard, if you really want to go out and get him, you can do it. If you wanted to trade for Max Crosby, you could do it. So I'm very, very happy about that, if it's accurate. I honestly don't know if it's $40 million or not. I will say this, though. Today is a great day because it looks like A.J. Brown is staying. In the saga of what's going to happen to A.J. Brown, it looks like all the momentum is pointing to him coming back to Philly, which is a good thing, in my opinion. Dakeem, man, what's going on, man? It's been a while. He said, I want Josh Sweat. Jonathan Greenard gives me Bryce Huff vibes. I mean, I don't think that Grenard's a Huff guy at all. I mean, here's a guy with multiple double-digit sack seasons. The thing with Huff was he had one good year, and then all of a sudden he got a big payday. I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think so. But I mean, would I like Sweat? Yeah, I would love Sweat. What is that? I swear I heard a noise. No, Howie's a genius. He really is. The only Mark Holmes is flipping triggers is a trip to what? Did you see Mark's angry video yesterday? I have never said the Cowboys would win divisions and be the best team. I never said. Yes, you did. What's in the 2027 draft you want load up so many first round picks for? Well, one, it's supposed to be one of the deepest drafts in years. So it's supposed to be a draft that's going to be loaded with talent in the first round. So I feel like you're going to get a lot more value in that. But the reason I personally want to do it is because I want to get Jeremiah Smith. I want to get 2 or 3 first round picks, and I want to trade up and get Jeremiah Smith. And I think in order to realistically do it, you probably need 3 first rounds. Unless you get like a team like New Orleans or Oakland's first round pick next year and they get a high pick. But that's what I want to do. And if I can't get Jeremiah Smith, but I have 2 or 3 first round picks, then I'm still picking from a draft that is loaded with top level talent. Zach, thank you. I appreciate that so much. Mark Holmes made a video of you being too excited about extending Goedert 1 year. Really? He's excited. He's mad at me about that. Like when Dak got engaged, didn't Mark throw a party? I was very excited to get Goedert done for multiple reasons. One, we need a tight end. I want him back. 2, everything was kind of on hold until he got situated. So yeah, I was very happy about that. Goedert needs a retired Eagle. If I were him, I would have taken the $20.1 million and signed with another team for $10 million and makes $30.1 million in 1 year. He chose to sign for $7 million. How he needs to keep for the rest. Yeah, and Goedert was very patient with the Eagles to work that out, and he kept pushing the time back. So we got to give Howie Roseman a ton of credit, man. American Screeching Eagle, man. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you. He goes, I know this is probably a long shot. What are the odds that the Eagles can land Joey Bosa? Yeah, I think it's pretty long. I don't foresee that happening at all. So I'd say really long. Almost impossible. I don't think that would happen. 3,500 pissed in Mark's Cheerios. That's why he's mad. He's always mad at me. I'm not allowed to be excited about my team. Give Dallas credit. He really did. He pushed that deadline back twice. He didn't have to do that, and then he settled on a contract which was very friendly to the Eagles, and now the Eagles have the ability to move around. They've got apparently $40 million of cap space. So you got $40 million of cap space. It looks like A.J. Brown is going to be staying as where we're at right now, which is a great thing. You got the draft coming up, and then you got to go get your edge rusher. I think the edge rusher has to be the next play for the Eagles. I really do. I think that's the immediate next thing you want to get done. You want to get yourself a quality edge rusher in here. Whether that's a way that you could get Josh Sweat back or, Jonathan Greenard or whoever, but you need one. So do you think Slay retires as the Eagle or retires as the Lion? Great question. I don't know. I would guess the Lions. I would guess it would be the Lions only because a lot, people want to retire where they first came up at. But you never know. Yeah, I actually think it's possible because you're not going to get anything for him. I think if you could get let's say if you were to get a 3rd round pick for him, I think you got a chance. I do think that last game that Sirianni threw him to the Wolves, I think it hurt his stock though. I love seeing Mark besides himself win the Cowboys feel year after year. I do too, and I think this year I was telling Leo. Shout out to Leo from Bird Section. I was telling him yesterday, this is going to be Mark's most epic year to melt down. He is setting himself up big time. I want him so bad. Philly 500 talking free agency. I know. I'm like a kid, a fat kid at a candy store. I'm a fat man at an NFL free agency. Jedi Master says all these people who hate Hurts, I guess what? Our boy Jalen Hurts is the Wheaties cereal box. Only legends get featured on them. Hell yeah. Dude, I've become so numb to the Jalen Hurts. I just, if I see it, I just keep going. I can't even deal with it anymore. It's just so blown out. Child of the Most High, what's going on? 500, hey, Slay will be on the podcast tomorrow live, 7:30 Eastern. Some of the people aren't pro Eagles, but the host is cool enough. Okay, what podcast? That sounds cool. Yeah, happy retirement, big play Slay. Absolutely. Yeah, I think AJ's coming back. I mean, today, at least, the winds are pointing and blowing towards the direction of AJ coming back. It seems like things are dying down a little bit, and they'll turn around and they'll heat up again. I'm sure, but right now it's pointing like I'm getting the feeling like things are leaning towards him coming back. So hopefully that'll be the case. I don't want anything to do with Ayuk. I don't know. I don't know if Ayuk's all there, man. I don't want anything. I don't want anything to do with Ayuk. I cannot stand Pats fans. Me too. They want everything for nothing. They really do. They really do. It's crazy. Majority of Slay retirement posts are him in Philly uniform, though. Oh, look, I can't speak for Darius Slay. I'm just guessing. He very well could retire as an Eagle. It wouldn't surprise me, but I can't, I can't say it, though. I don't know. American Screeching Eagle, man. Thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Says, do you think the Max Crosby trade? Yeah. See, I do think I think Crosby situation is still in play. I think that's very much in play. And that's died out too, but I think that's died out because I think the Rams have to kind of let time pass, let him come in, let him rehab, show that everybody that you look like you're going to return healthy, and try to build up some of his value back. Because let's face it, they lost a lot of value when the Ravens pulled that crap on them. So I don't think they're going to get what they want at the end. I think they're still going to move him, but I think they're going to wait. They may wait till after June 1st, but I do think he is in play. Dad says, I want Benito. So you want Benito, and I'm assuming that comes off of the rumors of A.J. Brown possibly going to Denver, right? Or Denver Broncos being interested in. Yeah, I mean, you need a pass rusher like that. No doubt about it. Forget Greenard and Max, I want Walker. I would want Walker too. If you said choice between Max Crosby, Greenard, or Travon Walker, I would choose Travon Walker too. My only question is what's the deal with him? You know, Jags don't have a first-round pick. They're not extending him. He's in the last year of his contract. But I've literally heard no rumors about his name being shopped around at all. Have you heard anything about possible move? He could be. It could be something quiet. Maybe the Jags want to do something for first. See, I would trade the 23rd pick for Travon Walker. I would offer the 23rd pick for Travon Walker, have an extension waiting for him. That's what I would do. Patriots will trade AJ post June 1st. It's already going down. Yeah, but what's the compensation? That's what I come down to. What would the compensation be? If it's not a 2027 first, it's a non-starter. See, I keep seeing things like, well, the Patriots are going to get they're going to give a second and a third, or a second and a fourth. Forget it. If it's not a 2027 first, you got no shot at A.J. Brown. King the Kid, thank you for Super Chat. After seeing free agency last week, I can confidently say the 24 Eagles will be the richest team of all time. Jalen Carter, Cube, and Coop will all have to get paid. GOAT team. They do. They all got to be paid. And I think they will. I think Carter will be the next big signing that we see. And the thing about this free agency, like what I've learned about this free agency class, is that it wasn't that good. It really wasn't that good. And a team like the Dallas Cowboys, who really needed to rebuild an entirely different defense and traded 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons, a team like that had to deal with a bad free agency class. And if you weren't willing to make the trade and pay to get like a Max Crosby, especially at that time, they're screwed. They have slightly gotten better, but nothing good enough. It was a weak free agency class, and from what we're hearing, it's a weak draft at the top of the first. Like the first round picks aren't that great. It's like there's a lot of good players in this draft. Don't get me wrong. But they're mid-round picks. That's where the value of this draft is, not in the top end of the first round. Now, next year, completely different story. To me, next year, from what we're hearing, you build franchises with that draft. Yeah, Denver's and Cooper are worth getting. 500, what do you be saying? Sorry, yo, everybody, no. King Ding back here. Yo, everybody, how you doing? King Ding back here. That's what I say. I love that people don't know what I say. It makes me want to say it faster. What up, Steven? How are you? 500, this is just a theory, but I think AJ doesn't want to leave Philly. I think he wants another contract. Ooh, another contract extension. Could you imagine? Maybe. You know what? When it comes to money, after watching Myles Garrett last year go, I want to play for a winner, it's time to leave Cleveland, say goodbye, and then get a contract extension, I will never doubt that. I will never doubt it. Now, I don't think, as much as other people, I don't think A.J. Brown wants to leave in the way that people think he does. I think I definitely think he has to get traded. I definitely think he got frustrated with the offense. I think all those things are true. But I think at the end of the day, I think he was probably like, hey, look, if you could trade me to one of these teams. Otherwise, I'm good one more year. I really think that's the way it was. Time will tell. Trevon Walker would be a better fit for our edge. Wasn't he also a former Bulldog? Yeah, he is a former Bulldog. Happy retirement to Big Play Slade, Eagles legend forever. That's right. We opened today's stream talking about Darius Slay. There we go. And so yeah, happy retirement for him. The Pats have nothing we want except next year's first round pick. Yeah, there's nothing. Who on their team do you really want? And they don't want to give anybody up. So yeah, Pats don't deserve them. Dude, the Rams, I hate the Rams, and the Rams are more of a rivalry than the Patriots. And I would be more apt to trade him to the Rams for a 13th pick overall than what the Patriots are offering. And I don't think the Patriots are going to end up with him. I don't think I really feel like post June 1st is going to come, and the Patriots are going to think that the Eagles are going to take him for less because they don't have to eat as much cap. And it's not going to happen. And the Patriots aren't going to want to give what it costs, and the Eagles aren't going to give him up for nothing. And I think nothing will get done, and I think AJ will be an Eagle for one more year. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, the last time I said this, the next day, it all started again. So tomorrow could be like, here we go with the AJ stuff. But right now, today, no, I feel like we're good. Michael says, "What's up, Philly? Sorry about last night. I got really frustrated with asking you things and not getting read or answered. I heard the whole thing with AJ BS is fake, all to play with the media." You might be right. It may be all to play with the media. Michael, I apologize, man, for not reading your comments. I didn't see them. I didn't even know you're mad, man. So I apologize. Sometimes I just don't see every comment. It's sometimes, especially when I use StreamYard, I think it's even harder. So I really apologize, man. It was not intentional to miss any comments. So I'm glad that I was able to see this tonight, man. You have a wrench, so I think the world of you. We need a number 1 and a number 2 for AJ Brown. Yeah, it'd have to be something like that. Slade will retire an Eagle 100%. He could, yeah, he very well could. So who do you want for wide receiver 3? What do you think of Tyreek Hill? I mean, Tyreek Hill, if healthy, with his speed, would be tremendous. With his attitude and what would go with that, I worry about. So would I want Tyreek Hill as a wide receiver number 3? Probably not. Here's what I think. I wouldn't mind getting a receiver in the draft, and I'm sure there's somebody we can get to come in and compete as a third wide receiver. But I do like Darius Cooper, and I want him. My hope is that Darius Cooper wins the job, but he's got to get challenged. So we'll see. Carlos says, do you think trading AJ Brown to the Rams for Davante Adams would make sense for Philly? For me, I don't think so. Not straight up. Not straight up. It would have to be Davante Adams and that 13th pick overall. Or you could leave. Honestly, you could leave Davante Adams out of it and just give me the 13th pick. I'll do AJ Brown for the 13th pick straight up. And I think the Rams are more likely to trade picks than anybody else in football. They will trade picks. They have proven that. So give me 13th pick. They can keep Davante Adams. But if they want to throw him in, I'll take him for 1 year. But the problem with Davante Adams is he's older and he gets hurt. And he's going to be hurt with the Eagles. So I wouldn't mind that 13th pick. Not that I want to trade AJ, but if I had to, that 13th pick, I'll use that 13th pick. I'll take the 23rd pick. I'll trade that for 2027 next year. And then I'll have 2 first-round picks going into the big draft. I will look for Slade to pull BG and someone. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, man. So I'm thinking too. Gary Sanchez says, A.J. Brown's going to go. They're going to put him on a T-shirt with a brown mustache. It's going to say, Howie didn't eat dirty. You hoping, you Cowboy fans are hoping, but it ain't going to happen. Well, at least today it feels like the trade winds are not blowing, and so that's good when it comes to A.J. Brown. I saw a little segment Anthony Gargano did where he talked about that too. He talked about how AJ actually likes Philly, he likes playing, and the issues were with the offense and frustrations, with the offense in the passing game last year, and that the Eagles will go to him and we say we got a new coordinator, things are going to be different, and he's going to be all right, and we're going to move on, and I like it. How do I rate the Eagles? Drummer says, how do you rate the Eagles so far in free agency? B. I give them a solid B. I don't think I can give them an A, but I think not getting Jalen Phillips for $30 million was a good thing. Okay? I think extending Jordan Davis, that was my number one priority going into free agency. I wanted Jordan Davis extended. So I actually think a B. They got the Goddard thing done. They've now got apparently $40 million in cap space. So a Greenard trade or something like that is totally possible. I don't think this was a good free agency draft, or a good free agency class. I don't feel like there were a lot of top-end free agents that were worth getting. Jalen Phillips was considered like the biggest free agent. And he got $30 million. He has 2.5 sacks. So I think a B. I think sometimes you got to know when not to do stuff. Then when to do stuff. And I think this was one of those years where you don't do anything. And I think getting Woolen was a great, great pickup. Like, I think the Woolen pickup was huge and impactful. So you definitely increased that cornerback position. Now the question is can they get an edge rusher? Can they get a safety? I mean, really, you can't give them a grade yet because it's too early. It's like it's incomplete. But I'm okay with the way things have gone. James, what's going on? Ayuk's mentality is not what we need. Maybe 1 year deal. That's it. Well, what was the whole deal with him driving like 100-something miles an hour kept going by the 49ers stadium or something like that? Like, I don't want to deal with any of that. It's probably going to be this year's second, first. Well, that would be worth it. Yeah, I mean, that's where I kind of lean towards, Eric. If AJ leaves, we have to get a Z Branch in the third round to play wide receiver 3. I would trade for London as well. Yeah, I would extend Carter right now, too. He's only going to cost you more money. Did you guys see Jalen Carter at the Jordan Davis press conference? All right, let me tell you, Jalen Carter looks like he's in tremendous shape. I got to tell you, he looked like he put on some muscle and lost some weight. He looks good too. And if Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are both in shape, holy crap. So I extend Carter right now too. AJ for Gonzalez and a 27 first move this year to safety. Yeah, they would never trade Gonzalez. They're not going to trade him. That's a pipe dream. I like it, but if we trade AJ post June 1st, we're not getting picks this year. If we trade during the draft New England, maybe we can get New England second this year. I don't want picks this year. That's my whole point. I don't want picks this year. Picks to me this year are what? You're going to get New England's first round pick, which is essentially a second round pick. I don't, in a draft that isn't considered all that great. No. I want 2027 pick. So I have no problem waiting to June because I want a 2027 first where it's a deeper draft. And I don't think New England's going to be as good as they were a year ago. So I think it'll be a better pick. I think it could be anywhere in the 15 to 20 range next year. Pats will never give up Gonzalez. He's their best player and he's still on a rookie deal. True. And how could the Eagles really afford him? Like, how are you going to get Gonzalez in here, pay him an extension, and then pay Coop an extension, and then pay Q an extension? You just can't do it, you know? That's why I like the Woolen pickup. Here's a guy that's not going to cost you a ton, who's still got a lot of talent, 26 years old, wants to show that he's worth big money on the open market. He's coming in, and he's definitely an upgrade over Adoree Jackson. So that, you know, in a weird way, I think that's a better fit because you're not going to be able to afford three corners, top money. American Screeching Eagle, man, thank you so much for Super Chat, man. I appreciate it. I've been an Eagle fan since I was a kid, and I'm really tired of the Jalen Hurts hate. He won the Super Bowl. What do you think our record will be this year, and how far would you make it to the playoffs? Well, I mean, I think we're going to win the division. I still think we're one of the top 3 teams in the conference. So I think we'll compete with the Super Bowl. It's a little early, like, to give you a record, prediction. We haven't even seen the schedule yet. So, but I do think that the Eagles still are the cream of the crop in their division. And in the conference, I think it's the Eagles, the Rams, the Seahawks, obviously. You know, I think that maybe the Bears. I think the Eagles are a top 4 team in the conference. So very, very, very good chance to be back in it again. Yeah, and I agree with you on the Jalen Hurts hate. I'm sick of it too. I can't even watch it anymore. I swear I don't even pay attention to it. I've become numb to it because it's just the same argument over and over again, and it does nothing. Mark says, I have A.J. Brown fatigue. I don't want to hear anything about him. I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. The only reason I brought him up was to say that it seems like things are settling down. Carlos, is there a reason why there are rumors going around about A.J. Brown being traded? Well, there was some shopping that went around with other teams like New England, apparently Denver, maybe the Rams. And I think it was these teams were trying to get A.J. Brown, and they were trying to get him away from the Eagles, but the Eagles were saying, like, listen, if you want him, you're going to have to pay us a lot. And those teams were saying, no, we don't want to pay you that much. And the Eagles were saying, well, we don't care because we don't really want to trade him anyways. So I think a lot of it's media driven, but I mean, there's some smoke there, but I think that it's going to work out because of money and stuff. I think it'll work out that AJ will play one more year in Philly. The Eagles have no leverage. No way would I give a first. You can keep him, and when he's still upset and wants out, the value will be a third rounder. Yeah, but the Eagles don't want to get rid of him. You see, of course the Eagles have all the leverage. They have all the leverage because he's under contract. And 2, they don't want to move him. They don't want to move him. You're asking them to trade somebody they don't want to trade. The one thing about AJ, and this is what people don't understand, AJ is not doing push-ups in his driveway. Okay, AJ might have talked and said stuff about the press about his frustrations on the offense. But AJ, when it comes to the players, and it comes to the coaches, and it comes to the front office, they all like him. They all like him. They all like him in there. He's not a problem to be in there. So this whole narrative that he's going to be a head case and also, I don't think that's the case. If you want him, you have to overpay because the Eagles don't want to get rid of him. And when you can walk away from a trade and not care if it don't work, you've got leverage. The Eagles have a lot of leverage. They have all the leverage. And the only way a team is getting him is to give up what we want. And if not, he will get traded next year. And that was the plan all along. So, yeah, Eagles got the leverage. They don't want to get rid of him. Carlos, thank you for super chat. Rumor has it, if Mark is hungry enough, he'll season his thumb and snack on it. That's so gross, but I can see him doing it. Ayuk, please stay away from him. I agree with you. I agree. If AJ's not going to give his 100% effort, he's liability, just like in that playoff game. Bye. What are you going to give for? You're going to just give him away? Just, hey, all right, see ya. I mean, you still have to get value for him. Second round is not value. Third round is not value. I think the lack of effort stuff. I think that's stuff that they can basically deal with and have not come up again. I think by changing the offense, I think a lot of those things you're going to see change and be gone. I think the frustrations with AJ during the season and in game had to do with the coach's inability to, unwillingness to listen to the players. And I think that's what was frustrating him. But I think that is not going to be an issue this year. Philly, the media wants to destroy this team. No doubt about it. We got 792 people in here, by the way. Holy crap. I didn't even realize that. 188 likes. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you guys subscribe. Yeah, they do want to destroy this team. They've been trying since we won the Super Bowl. It sounds like you say you like the way King Dean, but that's funny. That's funny. See the Eagles moving down in the draft for more picks. I hope so. But I hope one of them is a first round in the 27. Like, I would say, all right, I'll give my 23rd pick in the first round. What I want back, I don't want your second round pick. And I'm talking to those teams at the top of the second. I don't want your second round pick. Keep it. All I want is a 2027 first and then like a mid-round pick this year. And I'm back. I'm out. I'm going right out of the first round. I have no problem with that. Honestly, it just feels like Vrabel is trying to fleece us back for us taking AJ from when he was with the Titans. Suck it, Vrabel, and give us our first and second, biatch, right? I agree. The best kind of negotiating, like, I think, the best way, the best position to be in when you're negotiating is when you don't need the deal and you can get up and walk away at any time. And that's what I like about where we're at. That's where I don't think a lot of Patriot fans and stuff understand. We don't have to trade them. We don't want to trade them. We want them on the team. So we can walk away from any negotiating table. So if you want them, you're going to have to overpay to get them because we don't want to lose them. That's a pretty strong hand, if you ask me. AJ wants the ball 100% of the time, but when we needed him, he didn't show up. No hate, just observation. Well, I think there's things that have to be resolved. Nobody's saying that there are things that they got to resolve them. Like, I think they need to go to him, and I think they need to, talk about that last game and talk about allowing your frustrations of the year to kind of come out in game and get that under check. And I think AJ's reasonable. I think AJ's way more reasonable than people give him credit for. So, I think AJ will be fine. I don't think we're going to see the same problems. If it was the same offense with Patullo, I would agree. If Nick Sirianni starts like interfering and like trying to control the offense and everything we're doing, yeah, it could be a problem again. I'll fully admit we could be back right where we were. But I think that's the risk you got to take. Carlos says AJ's frustration comes from the constant change in offense scheme, and don't think AJ expected to play in a new offense every year. I get it. Well, here's where I think it started, right? This is where I think all the problems started. I'm going to tell you guys. Go back to the game versus the Rams. The Eagles are getting killed in the first half of that game. Second half, they're down. Where were they down? Like 24-3 or 7-20. They were getting killed. They come back, they win the game. AJ takes the mic and he says, "We've got a bunch of killers on this team, and we can't play this prevent offense or play conservative. We got to go be able to play and do what we do and be killers." Jalen Hurts gets on the mic, pretty much says the same thing. Devontae Smith pretty much says the same thing. Then, that whole week from the Rams game to the Tampa game, if you remember the talk was we got to be more aggressive, we got to come out and we got to go attack teams. And all the players seemed like they were happy. So then you go in the Tampa game, you go up 24-6 at halftime. Remember, the Eagles came out, and they came out just like they played in the second half of the Rams game. They came out attacking. They were up 24-6. 24-6. Jalen Hurts was 15-17, 9 for 9 versus the blitz against Bowles, who people said he couldn't beat. And then the second half of that Tampa game starts, and I'm doing the live stream, and I'm watching, and I'm going, why does this team look dejected? And you could tell the Eagles came out of that half, and they looked down offensively. They all looked like upset. And it was because they went right back into that prevent offense. That, to me, is when A.J. Brown was like, you got to get me out of here. Because the coach showed that he wouldn't listen to the players. He didn't care what they said. He didn't take into consideration what they were saying, and he wasn't willing to change things up. And I think that's what started. I think that's where all the problems started. I think that hopefully with the new coordinator and new coach, we won't have that problem. But to me, that is the exact moment we had issues. And now the rumors are that it was after week 3, which was the Rams game, that he asked for a trade. I think that's when it all started, in my opinion. Rocky, thank you for the super chat. He goes, what up, Philly? Did you see Jalen Phillips say we offer him a contract, but Carolina made him an offer he couldn't refuse? He's not worth $30 million. He's definitely not worth $30 million. And you know, I gotta say this. Like, I like Jalen Phillips. I think he's got a tremendous amount of talent, right? I do. But 2 things. One, did they break the rules, Carolina? Like, how did he know to wait? Like, I heard rumors that Carolina was negotiating with him on Saturday. That would have been before illegal tampering. I'm sure that happens with all teams. Secondly, he's going to go to Carolina and be irrelevant. There's part of me that thinks there are certain guys in the league that when they come into the league and they lose early on in their careers, they get used to losing. And they just accept it as, well, oh, no big deal. And then they just focus on the money. If you're about winning, you take $3 million less to stay in Philly. You don't go to Carolina. So to me, I think he's one of those guys, tremendous talent, hasn't lived up to it, been on basically a losing team his whole career, and he doesn't know how to win. I know that sounds crazy, but I really believe that. Linda, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you so much. Why would you hate a quarterback with a 70% winning percentage and proven to be able to win a Super Bowl with only 32 other quarterbacks in NFL history? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think they're going to do they're going to do books and study this in history. Like 50 years from now, they're going to go back and study the Jalen Hurts tenure in Philly because I don't get it. I don't get it either. What we always wanted and what we were always told I was growing up was you could have the quarterback that could put up all the stats in the world. You could have the guy that has all the highlights, but does the guy win? And that was the motto, you know. And I heard that during the Randall Cunningham era. I heard that during the Donovan McNabb era. Heard that during the Peyton Manning era. And then all of a sudden, that's disappeared now with Jalen Hurts. I don't buy it, dude. Let me try to catch up. I'm way behind here. I must be yapping up a storm today. Let me catch up. Where the heck was I? Takeem, thank you for the super chat. Trade Sidney Brown for a 7th round pick and move Ringo to safety. Give Ringo a first shot at starting safety next to Makuba. Have him compete with a rookie for the safety spot in camp. I like the idea of getting rid of Sidney Brown. I like the idea of giving Ringo a chance at safety. He's still a very good special teamer. So put him at safety. As far as starting, I guess it would just depend what happens. Like if we draft a guy in the second round, I want that guy to start. So, I mean, we'll see. But I pretty much agree with you, Takeem. Dagger, thank you for the super chat. He goes, for me, AJ picked 23. AJ picked 23 for the Rams, pick 13, 27 first. Yeah, I'd probably do that. I'd probably do that. I don't, if I had to do it. Like, I don't want to trade him. But if I had no choice, yeah, it would take something like that. Devontae Jones, thank you for the super chat. Goddard is a true Eagle. He allowed the Eagles to push back his contract talk and took a discount $7 million deal. He had higher offers from teams. I know. He true Eagle. Much respect to Dallas Goedert, man. We got to love Goddard and appreciate him because of that. That was huge for the Eagles. It really was. You know, and that goes against Mark Holmes' theory of, do players really want to play in Philly? Well, guess what? They just showed you they do. So, yeah, shout out to Dallas Goedert. Rocky, thank you for the super chat. Broncos and Eagles have mutual interest in AJ trade. Yeah, that was from a couple days ago. We heard that on Friday. You know, maybe. But the Broncos are they're in the same boat as New England. You got to pay the piper. I don't want your 2026 first round pick that's almost a second rounder. It's got to be 2027 first. And, you know, that's like where we start. And then we go from there. American Screeching Eagle, thank you for the super chat, man. Shout out to you. He says, I think we should try to trade for Honey Badger Tyrann Mathieu from the Saints. I don't even know where he's at, like, in his career. I like him. I just don't know. I mean, I thought he retired. So, yeah, I guess so. Devontae Jones, thank you for super chat. He goes, missed my super chat, Philly. I think I just read it, right? The Goddard one. I was just behind. American Screechy Eagle, thank you for super chat. He goes, I think we should try to get Chris Jones. Simple as that. Anyone in the comments have a problem with the way I spend money, I don't care. You be you, man. I think I mean, I don't think, you know, I just don't think you don't need them because you got the other two guys. Big Dom, thank you for super chat, my man. What you think about 3-team trade with New England and the Browns? Cleveland receives 2 firsts and 2 seconds from New England and Philly. New England gets AJ Brown. Well, yeah, now you're talking. Myles Garrett, I would, if I could get him, I would. I think, like, I know he's 30, but I think he's the exception to the rule. He's so good, and you put him with Jalen Carter, holy crap. Yeah, that would interest me. I'm not gonna lie. That would interest me. Oracle Brian Pumper, my man. The Oracle, except for boy Tanner McKee. But what's up, bud? Philly, so it's all the coach's fault. We should blame everything on Nick and Kevin. Everyone just robots waiting for a command. Well, maybe Hurts too. Listen, I think it is their fault. I think it's primarily their fault. I've been saying that for over a year. And the one thing I've said to you, and I've said this over again, the only way we're going to find out if it's not, we got to get a new coach and a new offense in here, and you got to give the control to the offensive coordinator. I think we're doing that, Pumper. So the one thing is, I feel like that'll come out of next year. We're going to know. Was Brian Pumper right about being a quarterback, or is Philly 500 right about it being the coaches? I think we're going to find out because, yeah, I do believe it was the coaches, man. I believe they're that bad. I believe they were that bad. But I think we'll find out, you know. Hey, Phil, are you scared of the Cowboys? No. Is a tiger afraid of a gnat? No. What's up, Philly? I've been in chat a while. I don't know if you remember me. I used to be in the stream. I was one of your mods. But I'm back like Batman Returns. Greg Mills, I appreciate that. You know, they changed the way you read names in here. Now everybody's got the @ so I it's hard for me to remember or recognize the old names. But welcome back. I'm glad that you're here. Do you know how much Myles Garrett calls for talking about trading for him, Southside? I would love him. I would love to have him. Do I think it's realistic? That wasn't the question. Question was, would you take that? $500, how disgruntled would AJ be if he doesn't get traded this year, and how many games will he blow with the drops? We already have our wide receiver 1 who wears 6. I think 0. I think 0. I think AJ will come in. I think he'll do his part. He'll be professional, and I don't think you'll see. I don't think you'll see what you saw last year. I think that was more of based upon the offense that they were running and the frustrations with the offense. So I don't think you'll see that. I think you'll see more of what you saw of AJ Brown all the previous years. Everybody talks about just last year with AJ Brown. But what about all the other years that we had AJ Brown? Nobody was crying about him, complaining about him dropping balls and not being this guy and that guy. So, we're going to forget everything AJ did beforehand and just remember the last game or what happened in the course of the year. Let me tell you, the reason that happened was because the coaches and that was an all-time coaching debacle, in my opinion. Last year was one of the all-time offensive coaching debacles. Because, here's a coach that sat there and sat his starters while the Bears lost the 2nd seed. Every team was playing their starters, trying to get the highest seed, except for the Eagles. Okay? It was one bad coaching decision after another. So I think with the new coaching staff offensively, I think with the new system offensively, I don't think you're going to have the same problems with AJ. Look, AJ frustrated me in the last game. When AJ spoke up about the offense, that didn't frustrate me. I still, to this day, I'll still say I believe he was put up to it by others in the offense. Like that the offensive guys, there was a bunch of guys that got together, said the coaches aren't listening to us. Somebody needs to speak up to the media to try to get through these coaches. And AJ did it. And AJ took the arrows for that. I believe that. Thank you, somebody was upset. So thank you. 500, is there a wideout? Would you trade straight for AJ? I mean, some of the best guys, but nobody that a team would consider trading. Nobody's going to trade you Justin Jefferson. Nobody's going to trade you, Pakua. Like the whole Pakua Nakua is involved. The trade is the biggest load of crap. There's no way. Yeah, AJ set records with 6 consecutive games. That's right. It's right. AJ had some really good years with us. I just can't dismiss that. I really think the problems stem from the offensive coaching. I can see Nick getting fired and make some of the same horrible coaching decisions. I could too. If he does, he will. If he does the same thing, he will. No, I don't care. If you don't believe in the coach, Howie and Jeffrey hired the guy coach you to play, you need to buy and execute. I don't know, buy in. Well, listen, you got to buy in, but it was frustrating, Southside. It was frustrating. This is a team that could come in and go 15-17 to quarterback, 20-some points on the board in the first half, and then not throw a completion, not one completion. And they didn't care. They didn't care. All they cared about, the only thing that they cared about was you don't turn over the ball. That's it. It had to be one of the most frustrating offenses to watch in the world that I've ever seen. Nick Sirianni created what is known as the prevent offense. I think AJ got frustrated. And I'm not saying AJ's all in the right. I'm not saying that. AJ has to be better and more mature about things. Like that last playoff game. Like he does. And the Eagles are going to have to talk to him and work with him with it. But I don't think AJ is unwilling to do what it takes to be better. I don't. And so I think that this could be, not as big of a deal as people think. After that badass team from Indiana, maybe we ought to draft all Indiana. Maybe. Maybe. Listen, it has worked for Howie the last few years. That's true. Yeah, Jeff, I think all receivers are kind of oddballish, though. Don't you think so? Like, aren't they all kind of? Wasn't it 2 games where we barely scored the second half and barely even moved the ball? That was it was more than it was multiple. So the Eagles couldn't move the ball for half in the Rams game. Then all of a sudden they explode. They couldn't move the ball in the Tampa game when they were up 26-3. Remember, they were up 24-6, something like that. We almost blew that game. We were up 14 points with 8 minutes left in the Denver game. We blew that game. We were up 21-0 on Dallas. We blew that game. We blew several games where the Eagles would get a little lead in the second half and Nick would go into prevent offense. And I truly believe Nick would say this to Jalen. Throw it away. Just throw it away. I don't care. Just throw it incompletion. Just don't turn the ball over. Throw it incompletion. Don't push it. If you think you got a window to throw to somebody, don't even do it. Just throw it away. Just win the turnover battle. We'll win the game. I think that was the whole philosophy of their offense. So this is a deep tight end draft. Should Howie create some draft pick swap, potentially draft 2 tight ends? I mean, you could. I would draft at least one, though. Daniel Jeremiah thinks we are drafting Omar Cooper, so that's a lock. We are drafting him. Well, yeah, he's right a lot of times, but he's not always right. I think you have to wait, though. Like with Daniel Jeremiah, wait till like the last week or 2 before the draft. That's the one that's when he usually gets it right. Philly 500, who could be your top 5 targets in this year's NFL draft? I haven't put it all up together, but it would go Kenyon Sadiq would be one. Assuming Caleb Downs is long gone, you got no chance. And you don't really have a chance of Sadiq, but maybe a slight chance. And then it would be the safety from Oregon. And then it would be all offensive linemen, the Penn State offensive linemen, the Georgia offensive linemen. It would be all offensive linemen. So I would say position-wise, it would be tight end, safety, and 3 offensive linemen. Yeah, the prevent offense. He invented it, dude. There will be documentaries made about the prevent offense. Maybe trading AJ is a positive as Hurts seemed to execute better with less people to feed. I don't see how it could be a positive. I get what you're saying. There's only so many balls to go around, but even if AJ's not getting the ball, the amount of attention he creates from a defense, it opens up things for Goddard. It opens up things for Devontae. So I don't see how it could help. I don't see how you could be better. I don't. Bro, if you make excuse for AJ Brown, you're an AJ Brown fan, not Eagle fan. Listen, boy, I've been an Eagle fan probably since you were born. I watched Roynell Young, Mike Quick. I watched those guys. I watched live the first time I got to see the Eagles in the playoffs. I watched the Fog Bowl. I watched us lose 4 or 5 NFC championships. I cried when Jerome Brown died. Where were you? Where were you? Swimming a little tadpole in your dad's balls? So don't tell me, buddy, what fan I am. I'm a fan of the team first. While you're a little tadpole in your dad's balls. No, Philly, I'm not. Oh, okay. Well, then I apologize. If you're not talking to me, I apologize. He wasn't an Eagles fan. Yeah, I apologize. I thought you were talking to me. I was going to say. So I apologize. Yeah, that was a nightmare situation. Is that what you're doing? Hit that like button, please. Yes, thank you. I thought he was talking about me. He wasn't talking to me, so I take it back. I take it all back. You weren't a tadpole in your dad's balls. They played the same way in 23. The offense was firing in the first half. Then it was prevents offense during the second half. They did it in 24 too. The difference, they did the same thing in 24. The difference is in 24, they ran the ball. And Barkley was breaking 50-yard runs. You know what I mean? That was the difference. Yeah, I apologize. My bad. Would the prevent offense be multiple Eagles offensive coaching preferences? Now with the new coaching group, shouldn't we see a huge change? We should see a complete. We should see a complete change. Yeah. I'm a big fan for you. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that. Two words, Rich Kotite. You don't know. Oh, that was the worst. Remember when they had Kotite and they started what was like 7-2, and then they just like lost every other game. I'd love to trade AJ for Jettas. AJ and a second or third. Yeah, I mean I don't think they're going to do that. You know, Phil, you need to look up Cassius Howell, Texas A&M, and yes, we need to draft like 3 offensive linemen. I think I'm with you on the offensive linemen. No, I apologize. I went off for nothing. I thought he was talking to me. And sometimes it's hard when you see a chat, you just think people are talking to you, but they're not. So yeah, I apologize. I apologize to him. Thankfully, there's enough balls to go around. Gotta watch it. I know. I gotta watch what I say. I'm working on it. Philly, I want to keep AJ so bad to see how the rest looks like in this new offense. But these rumors won't stop. Shaking my head. I want that safety from Oregon too. Coop would love. Yeah, I like that kid. It just sounds like he's going to go in the first round. I apologize to you, Southside. My bad. I hope you accept my apology. Sidney Brown and Andre Sam are starting safeties this year. Well, what about Makuba? Makuba's not going to start? I mean, Makuba was pretty damn good. First game I ever went to was the Eagles-Lions playoff game against Barry Sanders. That's the one where, was it Lomas Brown said that they guaranteed victory? Wasn't that the one? And the Eagles put like 50-something points up. I don't think Barry did anything that game. I think he had like 13 yards, something ridiculous like that. Like that. Thank you so much. Fu, what up, man? Love you, bro. My first YouTube stream tonight. Oh yeah? What time? I'll try to swing by and listen. What time? Just go get me Benito so I can do a backflip. Is Benito? Is he even being shopped around? 500. You think it's true that Dallas only got 7 million? Seems to. Yeah, he took less. No, there's no question. Dallas Goedert took less to come back to Philly. He wanted to come back to Philly, man. I mean, how cool is that? It's really cool. I like the safety from Oregon and the kid from Toledo. Either would be good in my book. Yeah, I agree. Man, I know. Everybody's gonna be talking about that one now. Oh boy. 8 p.m. Monday Night Raw stream. All right, tell me where I can find it in the comments section after, and I'll try to stop in and listen. Cali Eagles, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Five, good to see you. It feels like summer here already. I'm backing off the offensive line. I think we're actually going to target an edge in the first round. Call me crazy. Who do you like? I haven't looked at really any edge rushers yet. I've been looking at all offensive linemen, to be honest with you. But I don't think it's an impossibility what you're saying. I think it kind of depends on what we do at free agency. Like, if we go and trade for Jonathan Greenard, I think that you're going to see, I think you're going to see an edge rusher not in the first round. But if we don't do anything, then I think it's a play. Like, if we don't sign somebody before the draft, I think you might be right. And thank you for that super chat. Appreciate it. I would want Benito too, but is he available? Like, Daz, it's all Denver rumors that put in my ear. I know how it. Well, you're saying with the AJ, like, yeah, I like Benito too. Now you're talking, man. Jeez, yeah. We need to trade for Sweat or for Greenard now. For some reason, I think Howie's working on a big trade as we speak for Benito. Ooh, Benito. I would love him. That would be perfect. Bird Gang, thank you for the super chat. Shout out to you. I think Hurts plays more freely without AJ. He can sit back and hit open guys instead of trying to force feed AJ to keep happy. I still want AJ. No, I hear you. I get it. And I know that some of those times last year, that it seemed like they tried to get AJ. Like, you remember when they would try to get AJ the ball, and it just seemed so force-fed, but it was like so uncreative, so basic and vanilla. That was coaching. They couldn't scheme anybody open. They couldn't do it. I think with the offensive coordinator change, I think AJ we will not have the same issue. Yeah, they're saying we have $40 million in cap space now. I don't know if that's true, by the way. It's hard for me to believe that the Eagles are now sitting with $40 million, 6,700,000, whatever it is. I can't see my eyes, but $40 million. $40 million plus in cap space? Yeah, I can't read the damn thing. I need glasses. But, yeah. So, I mean, that's crazy. I think if we can get Kenyon Sadiq, I would. If he's gone, I see us drafting a safety in the first, then a tight end in the second, offensive lineman. If we do get Kenyon Sadiq, I see safety in the second. Interesting. Look, if Sadiq fell, I would take him. I also think that the Eagles have never in their history ever drafted a safety in the first round. Ever. I don't know if they'll do that now. Yeah, if that's correct, that's amazing. Mark Holmes talked about the triggers. We gotta flip the triggers. We're gonna flip the triggers. The Eagles can't flip the triggers. The Eagles got $40 million under the cap now. What are you talking about? If you just come into the season within your mind that at minimum you got to feed AJ 6 to 8 targets, the game will never get to the point where he's got to crash out. Yeah, but it's just not, and I agree, but it's not just about feeding him. Like, what I didn't like is when the Eagles did it, it was like forced and there was nothing to it. It was like, just give him a 2-yard pass to shut him up. It was almost like they're placating him. If you actually scheme and come up with a good play design, and then yeah, hell yeah. 500 Malachi Starks would have been the pick last year if he had fell to us in the first. Yeah, maybe, yeah, him or Amin Wari. I mean, Amin Wari was another guy we liked, and you might be right. Starks might have been the guy if he was there, but then again, it says they like Jihad Campbell, so who the hell knows? Remember a few years ago how he was talking about just because they don't do things doesn't mean they won't do them in the future. Yeah, you're correct. That is correct, JJ. You are 100%. That's a great rebuttal to my saying that. You're right. You're right. You hear Slade might come back this year and play one more. Yeah, I heard he'll only play for the Eagles. I wouldn't be surprised if you have a situation where somebody went down for a little bit. He came back. The problem Slay has. Here's the problem. The Bills still own his rights. The Bills still own his rights. They would have to release him or trade him. And as of right now, the Bills haven't done that. And I think the Bills screwed him on purpose. Everybody knew last year when he got caught, he was going back to Philly to finish his last, the rest of the season out for his career. And the Bills picked him up, and they weren't even going to use him. And then he didn't report, and instead of just cutting him, they just put him on the did not report list. So they still own his rights. Yeah, email me. I'll try to show up. One would have to be borderline to switch Ringo to strong safety. Why? You don't think he could be a better safety than a corner? I don't think he's a good corner. I mean, maybe he would be a better safety. Sometimes guys that aren't as good as corner, they're not bad safeties. I'm not saying he would be good. I don't know. But it may be worth a try. Nick Emmerward was drafted second around 35. Howie didn't even want to draft him. No, he didn't. Howie wanted Jahad Campbell. I wanted Emmerward. Denver has some nice edges. Would love for Howie to get hands on Pat. Yeah, I agree. Pats have nothing for us. Do you think the Giants are going to... I think the Giants, I think they're still going to lose a lot of games. But I think they're going to look better. I think you're going to look like a team that is going somewhere. I think they'll be they'll be way more better coached, and it'll look way more professional. And I think that they'll build on that. But I don't necessarily think they're going to win 10 games or 8 games or 7 games. They're still a pretty crappy team. What up, 500? Get those mother humping 27 picks this draft. Is Fort Holmes bad? 27 free agency is going to be crazy. Yeah, it is. 2027 free agency is going to be better, and the draft is going to be deeper. And the Eagles are going to have money and picks for both. The East might be tough. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, when I look at the Cowboys, I don't see a team that... I don't think they moved the needle as much as they think they did. I think they slightly moved it a little bit, but I just think the free agency class wasn't good enough. And I don't think they moved the needle all that much. Now, if they would have gotten Max Crosby, that would have been something. But they didn't get him. And so I don't think they're going to be that great. Jordan Davis is top. I'll say top 6 defensive tackle and rising. How long have you been streaming? I didn't receive notifications. What have I missed? 500. This is the last day of Frenzy Trader signing. No, I'm gonna do free agent Frenzy tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last day where we do hours and hours. Tomorrow I'll make I was a little short today because the Eagles were holding a press conference, and I just didn't want to compete with it. So tomorrow will be much longer, but we'll do tomorrow as well. He might be top 5 soon. He'll be top 5 this year. Do you think Sadiq is big enough to block? He's 6'2". Yeah, I think he's big enough to block. He's just got to be able to do it. And I think from what I was reading about him. Yeah, he probably has to work on that, but I think he can do it. I like JD, but I'd say top 12. I'd say he probably came into the year top 15, but I mean, the way he played at the end of the year, that Chargers game, that Washington second game, man, he was something. Q is a top 2 cornerback, in my opinion. I think it's him and Surtain, And I think Carter's top 5. I think Q is top. I think Q is the top top 2 corner, and I think Cooper DeJean is the top slot corner. Yeah, I like Sadiq. I'm Sadiq's size. I like big tight ends. Yeah, I do too. I like a tight end that can block and catch. I don't need him. I don't need him to be a dynamic catcher, but if he could just be a good receiver and just not tip off a defense, like a lot of tight ends. A lot of times, defenses get tipped off by the tight end. If the tight end can't block, the teams pull him out and put a blocking tight end in. It gives it away. So. Yeah, I think I would take big tight ends that can catch and receive. Like, instead of doing one thing great, do 2 things really well, and I like that. Oh, Stingley's up there too. But my man Cooper DeJean, my man Q, dude, his numbers were ridiculous. Philly has an issue knowing their personnel. Calcaterra, lead blocker, Barkley, too many plays per game, were exhausted. Yeah, and he stunk at it, Would the Eagles take offensive tackle and 23 pick and Lane Johnson returns? Yeah, they would. If there's an offensive tackle to replace Lane at 23, they'll take him. Yeah. Yeah, those would be the top 3 in my opinion. Gonzalez is up there too. Gonzalez is good. You met Q uncle in Miami? Okay, Q. Yeah, he started 2 in the Green Bay game. He had 2 picks, man. We got to give him credit. But yeah, Q's one issue. He drops a lot of interceptions. He's got to work on that. Q and Cuber get big bag. They're going to get huge pay. You're just saying, you might be right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I know he stinks at corner. So, the thing with Ringo is he's a very good special teams player. He's really good special teams player. But he can't play corner. So, maybe he could be and I don't know, I'm not even thinking a starting safety. I'm just thinking a rotational. Yeah, Q is. Congratulations, Green Bay, right? The plan was to have Ben Van Sumer lead block. Calcaterra was, yeah, that's true. That poor guy tore his ACL, twice? I felt bad for him. I'm excited to see what the cornerbacks look like this year. Literally a no-flies. Yeah, if Woolen can find his game from a couple years ago, dude, that secondary is going to be nasty. I think we're gonna sign. Well, they might re-sign Epps if he's available, if he's a free agent. But I definitely think they're drafting a safety. Matter of fact, I don't think they're gonna sign a safety. I think they're gonna draft a safety the 2nd or 3rd round, like they did it last year with Makuba, and I think they're gonna play him. And they're gonna say, all right, look, you got Woolen, Q, and Coop, and Makuba. Help the rookie out. You corners help the safeties out. And go learn and play. I really think that's what they're going to do. Baron, what's going on? I have to watch more of them. I haven't looked at them yet to give you a honest opinion that would be worth a damn. So ask me in a month. A Philly 500 trade deadline option: Tanner McKee to Pittsburgh when Rodgers is hurt or sucks for a 2nd round. Yeah, I would do it. They wouldn't. I don't know if Pittsburgh would do it, but I would do it. Here's a question for you guys. What team next? Here's a weird question. What team next year do you think the Jets are probably the worst? But besides the Jets, because I think the Jets are tanking. But besides the Jets, what team do you think will have the 2nd to 3rd worst record in the NFL? It'll be Jets 1 in the 2027 draft, and then who's going to be 2 or 3? I have a feeling Arizona is going to be really, really bad this year. I have a feeling Arizona is going to be god-awful. If I were scared of us, the unks about to whoop you, we ain't scared of you. Nobody's scared of you. Atlanta? Yeah, Atlanta could. Whoever that second and third team is, that's who I want to trade. I want to trade for a first round pick next year. See, I'm thinking Arizona. Cleveland's always in the bottom chase, so they could be there. Miami, yeah, Miami could be. Those are the teams that we got to try to trade for a first round pick next year. We do. Colts could suck for Manning. I would be shocked at that. But I think the Jets are tanking for him, dude. They brought Geno Smith in. I think they're going to tank for him. Raiders and Dolphins. Yeah, Miami's going to be bet. No, it's Atlanta. They actually have talent and offense. They do got some. I mean, dude, Bijan Robinson's a stud, dude. TJ Parker in the first. Trade up second for. I like that. I think the Raiders are going to be good, but won't regret because they have a rookie quarterback. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to think about Mendoza. Like, I look at him. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be an NFL quarterback or not. Yo, Philly, why is the media passing AJ around to any team for trade? They're treating him like he's Bonnie Blue in gang. He's not going anywhere, and that. Thank God he's strong to handle this. Yeah, I hear you. I don't know. It just crazy to me. You know, Philly, real quick. Why didn't the brothers screw us? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. One pass rusher to take a look at is Malachi Lawrence for me. Okay. Mendoza's competitive. Let's see. He is. I don't know what to think of him. Since Fernando Mendoza is likely going to the Raiders at one pick, the whole team's still going to be horrible. It could. I mean, they got some. They signed some players though, so we will see. But anyways, we are almost an hour and a half in. I am going to end this. I have to go pick my daughter up in about 20 minutes, so I'm going to have to do that. But with that, I just want to thank everybody for joining me tonight, and we'll be back. We'll be back much longer tomorrow and earlier. So I just didn't want to interfere with the Eagles press conference. So, but let me thank everybody for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. And if anything breaks or happens, I will be back later. That's for sure. But I'm gonna head out, and I look to see you guys tomorrow. That should be a lot of fun, and we'll see where we're at with everything. With that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys have a great day, great night. I will talk to you later. Have a great night and peace. See yous.
2 minutes to go. You have plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh, shit! Dad! No!
It's over! It's over! This game is over! Cut it off! It's over!
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay.
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today. That was on you, Dak. That was on you, Dak. That was on you, Dak.
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott. Trying to feed the Lamb. Trying to feed the Lamb. You tried to feed the Lamb. You got to give it to C. Lamb. God.
That's crazy.
It's over. It's over, Dak. Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. You gotta do something. I feel like it's gonna take Jerry Jones taking. Cut it off. It's over.